We all naturally possess the most remarkable tool for connecting to people and attaining social power. This tool is empathy. When cultivated and properly used, it can allow us to see into the moods and minds of others, giving us the power to anticipate people's actions and gently lower their resistance. This instrument, however, is blunted by our habitual self-absorption. It is quite wise to understand that we are all narcissists, some deeper on the spectrum than the others. It is therefore our mission in life to come to terms with this self-love and learn how to turn our sensitivity outward, towards others instead of inward. We must recognize at the same time the toxic narcissists among us before getting enmeshed in their dramas and getting poisoned by their envy. In our early childhood, we are dependent on others for attention, validation, and love. But later on, we realize that these sources are not that reliable. Our emotional needs often remain unmet, and so we learn to develop an inner sense of self. This is a positive self-image of ourselves that we create in our mind. In this image, we make our positive attributes prominent and explain away our flaws. This helps us in developing a positive self-love and validates us from within. We can resort to it at any point, especially when we are alone. It is very reliable, so much so that it becomes unconscious and we barely notice it. Unfortunately, some people never learn to develop this inner sense of self. They remain dependent on others for all the attention and validation. The reason for this is often a sharp break in their early stages of development. Perhaps their parents were abusive or were themselves too self-absorbed to acknowledge the child. Or maybe they were too much caring, which conditioned that child to remain dependent on others for all their emotional needs and their sense of self, even in the adulthood. These people rank high on the narcissism scale. They tend to see others as extensions of themselves, also called as self-objects. People exist as instruments for attention and validation. Their desire is to control them like they control their own arm or leg. In a relationship, they will slowly make the partner cut off contact with friends. Empathy is more than anything a state of mind. The greatest danger you face is your general assumption that you really understand people and that you can quickly judge and categorize them. Instead, you must begin with the assumption that you are ignorant and that you have natural biases that will make you judge people incorrectly. Empathy is an instrument of emotional attunement. It is hard for us to read or figure out the thoughts of another person, but feelings and moods are much easier for us to pick up. We are all prone to catching the emotions of another person. The reason you are able to understand your friends or partners so deeply is that you have a lot of information about their tastes, values, and family background. We all have had the experience of thinking we know someone, but over time having to adjust our original impression once we get more information. So, while physical empathy is extremely powerful, it must be supplemented by analytical empathy. Becoming empathetic, like anything, involves a process. In order to make sure that you are really making progress and improving your ability to understand people on a deeper level, get direct and indirect feedback from others. You can directly ask them about their moods or learn more about their life.